Well, the Tampa Bay Times will not recommend in the presidential or U.S. Senate races this year. It has made recommendations in those races in previous elections. The Times editorial board said it never planned to recommend this year and that the decision was made months ago. News of the decision comes as the billionaire owners of the Los Angeles Times and the Washington Post blocked editorials that would have endorsed Kamala Harris. The Washington Post has lost at least 250,000 digital customers who dropped their subscriptions in protest. The LA Times lost thousands of subscribers. Steve, you used to work for the Tampa Bay Times. What do you make of the decision by the editorial board?
Yes, let me say right off the bat that this was kind of a cowardly decision, and it didn't have to happen, and here's why. I am a proud alumnus, 17 years at the Times, most of it in Tallahassee as a bureau chief. And it wasn't that long ago the Times won a Pulitzer Prize. It's hard for a regional paper to win a Pulitzer Prize for editorial writing. My colleague Tim Nickens and his colleagues won one for the fluoridation of the water in Pinellas County some years ago. But what makes the Times unique among American journalistic institutions is it doesn't answer to a guy like Jeff Bezos or a bunch of stockholders in Illinois. It's owned by the Poynter Institute, a nonprofit, and they are truly independent in that regard. They didn't have to do this. I want to say too, as a matter of fairness, that the company that owns my newspaper, Alden Global Capital, decreed about 2 years ago that Alden's papers were not to endorse in the presidential election, so we're not. I don't like that decision. I didn't approve of it. That policy applies to our sister paper, the Orlando Sentinel, as well.
Okay. Natalie, does it make any difference? I mean, I think that some newspapers are moving in this direction because they don't want to anger people on the political left or right, especially on the political right, and they think maybe it'll get them more subscribers.
I think that it could get them more subscribers because I think some of us have already stepped away because the bias is so great that it's not worth reading. So if there is a move to, move away and getting back to that principled, objective, product, then maybe it can gain them some folks that will come back to the table. But, right now there's going to be a visceral response because it's politicized and it's heated in the last 5 days. But I do think that the trend has been back in 2008, we saw about 92 out of 100 of the papers were endorsing. In 2020, we were down to about 54. That's going to continue to trend, especially in this digital age, because there's not a great separation between the two.